I forgot to unmute. Isn't that awful? Maybe we should.
Well, y'all missed one hell of a story. I loved it.
That's right. We talked about dirt and 4 tons and me being too old.
Wonky backyards and kids out of school.
Yeah. Sorry.
From now on, we just need to do another extra minute for the intro.
That's right.
Yeah.
That way we can just go, hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Right.
Oh,
God, what was that guy's name?
the guy that did
On
those commercials.
Verizon.
Yeah. Didn't he switch though?
I think
He switched
so.
to Sprint or something like that.
I believe so, yeah.
That's crazy. But
Yeah.
no, we just leveled off that backyard and we're almost done.
Nice.
But I think eventually what will happen is the kids, my rule was that if we're going to put the pool back up, you have to help.
Right,
You're not going to help, I don't want you in my pool.
right.
And so what will happen by the end of the summer, they'll lose all interest in the pool.
Right,
And so it'll be me doing it. So next year, they were like, yeah, we don't want a pool.
right.
Well, that's going to end up a nice little garden fire pit area.
There you
I
go.
already got it planned out.
Right, right.
So,
Got to have a plan B.
so you went to the pool this week with your guys? And
Out
any
at
other
Lancerlot,
adventures?
yeah. Not really. I mean, the Friday after last podcast, we took the kids out to the lake,
Mhm.
and then it was their other.
Now, have you-
It was their mom's weekend last weekend.
Have you
so.
taken them to where I think it's Moosey's is? Right there where all the little...
Yeah, right there,
fish come up?
Bridgewater.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, not this past Friday, but the Friday before. You've met Jonathan, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he is usually the most standoffish, just kind of hold back, not really into animals and everything.
Mhm.
Yep, he's the only one of the 3 that actually pet the fish.
Nice. Have you had them put their toes in?
I have not.
So if you
Yeah, I
bring
have
a little
not.
bit of peanut butter.
I keep trying to talk them into it, but no.
You gotta do it
Ooh.
first. No, you got to do it first. So you take a little bit of peanut butter and you put it on your toes,
Right.
and then you stick your feet down in the water, and it'll take the
Peanut butter off
your toes.
There you go.
So yeah, you need to
We
do
will
it
try.
first though.
All right. I'm in.
And we probably need we're gonna need video of that.
Okay.
You hear that out there, Mary? We
Well,
need
ju-
video of him putting his toes in there and having the fish suck peanut butter off of them.
Yeah. Well, and Jonathan loves doing video, so we'll let him tape it.
Yeah, that should be fun. We definitely need that. So,
Do they like a particular brand?
I don't know. maybe not. Speaking of things with the kids, great news: the zoo chew's back.
Now at Mill Mountain Zoo. I know they closed it down shortly before Corona for some kind of maintenance, and then I guess they couldn't have it open because of
Mhm.
Corona. But yep, I think it came back yesterday. Was it yesterday morning?
I think so.
I think it was yesterday at 10 a.m. Yeah.
And they had one there for years, and it was sponsored, I think, by the JCs, the Roanoke JCs.
Sounds familiar.
And then I think they moved it to the Transportation Museum, that
Okay.
one, and I think maybe Mill Mountain got a new one or something like that.
Well, again, I know they had to do some maintenance on it, so
Mhm.
I don't know if it's just some
Yeah,
long
and I think this
overdue
may have
stuff.
happened years ago.
Gotcha.
You just have to, we had a comment that says, just make sure you come back with all the grandkids. Now, is
That's
there
why
one-
we had extras.
Now, we won't put you up on screen, but is there one that you'd be like, yeah, she'd be all right till we come back, or he'll be all right till we get back up there to get him? I may have had 1 or 2 of those.
Right.
My middle daughter, when she was younger, she could never on trips, and we traveled a lot, just Virginia Beach and all that other stuff. But and then they were in cheer competition and cheer
Right,
and stuff like
right,
that. But
right.
she could never come out right and be like, "Hey, I got to go to the bathroom," or "Hey, I'm hungry," or whatever. She'd always be like, "Remember that time when we went to wherever, and I had to use the
Layla.
bathroom?" And I'm like, "Do you have to use the bathroom?" Yes. I remember that time, like, well, I was really hungry, and I mean, I guess she was too young to have gone to band camp. Else it probably would have been. Do you remember that time at band camp?
Right.
And there's not one.
Oh,
that she wouldn't want you to come back with.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Bring them all. Bring them
All
all.
right, all right, well, then that'll be a trip for all 5 of us.
And talking about, the Zoo Chew and the Transportation Museum, I think the 611's back there, but also right across the street from it is
Is the new bus station? Yep.
they've
Yep.
opened that up on 3rd Street there. And way back when, and maybe I'm wrong, and if somebody watches this, maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but I kind of remember the Greyhound bus station being there until they moved it
I don't think
down.
I've been here long enough to know.
Probably not. I think that the Greyhound bus station used to be there, and it was before the Transportation Museum was ever there. That was just kind of a warehouse type thing.
Right. Right.
And then the Greyhound bus station was there, and then they moved that down to Salem Avenue,
downtown.
closer to downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's where it's at now. But yeah, it used to. I'm pretty sure that the Greyhound bus used to be there, and they had the little ramp that the buses pulled down into.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
Okay.
we'll look that up and talk about that again. That's
Heck yeah.
yeah. Jobs coming up. The Rafford Arsenal. Is it called something else, or is it still always the Arsenal?
I think they're calling it the Armory. But long story short, Grucci fireworks and pyrotechnics.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they do some for the military. They do a lot of fireworks.
Right.
And I guess they started off in Radford back in 97, 96, 97. But yep, they're getting ready to add, I think they're putting 5.5 million towards a new thing out in Pulaski.
Okay, awesome. Pulaski needs
Bringing
those
like
jobs.
45 or 55 jobs.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, Pulaski needs those jobs, and I know.
I just want to know, can we get fireworks out of there?
Yeah, I don't think so. Virginia, it's illegal.
I know.
Which is weird.
Well, the good stuff anyway.
Yeah, all the good stuff. But listen to this though. I don't think it should be illegal in Virginia.
Right.
I don't make those rules, but I see why it is. When I was about 21, 22 years old, we went down to the beach.
Right.
We were down in Myrtle Beach, and you can buy the fireworks down there.
Right.
Well, I'm always trying to find shortcuts for stuff a lot of times, and you know.
Oh yeah.
It's a downfall of mine, a red flag, if you will. But so we went and got fireworks that night. Had a great day. We're at the beach, sun setting, just a great time to do fireworks. So I thought, hey, this firework group right here shoots up in the air,
Okay.
and does the whole,
Right.
that whole thing. Well, this one here kind of does something a little bit different. So what if we stack this one on top of this one,
Right.
and then we light them both?
There's only one way to find out.
Well, it was kind of like Mario Brothers running down the beach, because there were fireballs literally going down the beach. People were running, and it was like people were grabbing their blankets and
Right.
getting out of the way.
Right.
It was awful. That's why it's illegal.
Oh no, I wish it wasn't illegal, but I definitely understand why, and I'd like to personally apologize to 7/8 of Virginia, because it was our generation why they're illegal in Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, Roman candle wars.
Let's see what we can blow. I mean, it's kind of like the yard darts.
We
threw those.
God,
at each
how
other.
many high school toilets saw those M80s?
Yeah.
Mailboxes
Mhm.
saw the M80s.
And it
So
was-
I
It was
understand.
one of those things going, hey, let me see if this will blow up. And if it does,
Yeah.
what's it look like?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying I get it.
Yeah.
So,
And I think if we had had cell phones back then, first of all, we would have been way in trouble.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that if we'd had cell phones back then, we would have some cool videos of things blowing up and.
oh yeah,
and we had.
and there'd be 35 extra laws.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Abuelos closed, I guess, after COVID.
A while back,
A
yeah.
while back. Good news, it's Bubba's.
Bubba's 33, I think,
It's
is
a
the
beer,
name.
pizza and drink place.
Yeah, said they're going to have pizza and burgers.
Mhm. Yep. So that's exciting. I was never
I'm just
a
happy.
big fan of Abuelos, but
And
My wife-
I've never eaten there, but it just, I like seeing things and vacant buildings opening back up.
Oh, absolutely. Instead
You
of
know,
building
so
new things.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Normally, they would just build a new building right beside it
Right,
instead of going in and remodeling.
and then making somebody else pay to demo that one.
Yeah. I'm a burger and fry guy anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm excited to be able to have something new in this area.
Oh, I agree. I love sandwiches. I love burgers.
Mhm.
You know.
And then if you're not into that and you're more into the organic and plant-based, on Campbell Avenue, there's a new restaurant coming, or actually it's opening. They're doing their soft open now.
Oh, okay.
It's on Campbell. It's
Okay.
called Fruits and Roots. And
Okay.
they do raw organic plant-based smoothies and different like bowls and things like that.
Okay. All right, Mary, you heard it. Don't tell the girls, because you know we'll have to be there for the soft opening.
Yeah, definitely. That's my daughter, the 11-year-old. She would rather have raw vegetables than cooked vegetables any day.
That's our two girls.
Mhm.
You know, you can give them broccoli, you can give them carrots, just make sure they're raw.
If we cook green peppers, she won't eat as many as if she just eats it. And most of the time, as we grow them in our garden,
Right.
she just walks through and
Right.
eats them like an apple.
Well, outside of green beans, Cadence prefers her green beans cooked rather than raw, but everything else, yep, got to be raw.
Definitely. Now, we talked about, because everybody's watching this one, we talked about Popeyes last week.
Right.
And it opening at the end of June. Do you know a date?
I do not have a date.
Okay.
Hopefully you do.
I don't.
But they actually have the name on the front of the building now.
That's pretty awesome. I noticed.
I've
last
been
week the
waiting for
lights-
that.
so the lights were on.
Right. I've just been waiting for the name to come on, because every time we drive by, I look at Mary and I go, they started that Applebee's
Right.
or that Chili's after they started Popeyes.
Mm-hmm.
Popeyes needs to hire better contractors.
They one of like regional managers or I don't know. He goes and opens up a lot of the Popeyes around and oversees
Right.
a bunch of them. But he lives in Roanoke and
Right.
I've sold him a couple houses and
Right.
things like that. But super nice guy.
Oh, I love it.
Lovely family.
I've only met him 3 times. I haven't had the dealings you have,
Yeah,
but
and that's where
but
I
I
got
love-
the
but I love
last
Bizarre.
week. I texted him. I was like, "Hey, when's Popeyes coming?" Everybody's like,
Right.
"That's good." And so he's at the end of June. So hopefully it'll come open. And honestly, I'm more excited about the Popeyes than I was the Chili's next.
I still
week.
haven't been to Chili's.
Yeah, you're not missing much. It's the
Yeah.
what they call it, the
Mexican Applebee's.
Yeah, Mexican Applebee's. And the service was great that I had. Usually when you have a brand new restaurant or not a brand new, but a restaurant that opens,
Right.
usually that service it's hard because they're learning.
Exactly. They're in training.
Yeah, but the service was awesome. The food was just kind of Mexican Applebee's.
Right,
I mean,
right.
it's made for the masses.
Right. Right.
And then, but what I didn't like about it is the ceilings in there are like the old industrial ceilings.
Oh, okay.
It's open
Right.
and it's an open building. And
Oh, wow,
so
okay.
just you can hear the kitchen noise, you can hear the people noise, and
Oh,
so it's
gotcha,
really
yeah.
when they're busy, it's really hard to hear.
Well, I was going to say,
conversation.
and for our age, you get background noise. Mary will tell me all the time, sorry, what did you say? The girls were talking over here.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start getting background noise, we can't hear you.
I think it's that dad hearing. That's what I tell people at the bar. When I'm bartending, I'll hear them back here talk about buying a house or talking about wanting a shot or whatever, and I'll show up and I'll give them the shot, and they're like, "Oh wow!" I'm like, "It's that dad 360 hearing I have." But
Right.
if you and I are standing here talking and I can't hear you, I have to almost read your lips, and I think. Probably need to I've had my hearing checked, but yeah, that seems to be a problem because with that background noise, it drowns out everything else.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Could be our ADD too. I don't know.
Well, I still blame mine on being an only child for a good span of my childhood anyway. I was entertaining myself. I didn't care what was going on back there.
Right.
So I'm usually focused here.
Right. And I think that part of it was our childhood because, you know, as soon as the sun come up, we were out. And
Yep.
we were supposed to be in before the lights hit, you know, turned on.
Yep.
And if you
Oh,
come
yeah.
in earlier than that, they're going to find work for you. Or they're going to tell you, we're not cool in the outside. Stay out.
In or out, pick it.
Yeah. And I think that was our generation.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, without a doubt.
We're getting older. We had 2 birthdays that we know of.
Yes, yes. And I think they're older than the star, aren't they?
They are 100% older than the star. We had Bertie Connor turned 103 on Saturday,
Right.
and then Helen Purdue turned 104.
Both on Saturday.
Both on Saturday.
Nice, nice.
I just look at all of the things they have witnessed in their lifetime.
Oh, I know.
I mean, to go from no TV,
Right.
you
Well, I
know,
mean,
not
fly-
much technology. I don't even know. Did they have radio in?
I think
It may
so.
have been close.
I think they had radio, but, you know, still, 93, so you're talking about, what, 1930?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, they were legit born just as the stock market crashes,
Right.
you know. And I just can't imagine growing up through that. But then you go through that, you go through, you know, your parents just got done with World War One.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're gearing up for World War Two.
Right.
You know, and just, I mean, all the civil rights stuff that, you know, came through, just everything. Because they're old enough to remember how they actually felt during the civil rights
Right.
movement and Vietnam and
And I wonder
all that stuff.
because, you know, I don't know about culture, but how you're raised makes an influence in you. And then I wonder if how they grew up, if it changed over time, or they just, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that how my parents raised, you know, tried to raise me, but I'm nothing like how they tried to raise me. Because
Right.
it was a big color thing, and for me, it's not. You
Right,
treat me good, I'm treating you good.
right. Well, I have to be honest. My parents never really had a, you know, thing of that nature. Mom was coming through school, and I think they started integration in Newport News her junior or senior year. You know, so it wasn't as big a do as
Right.
a lot of other
Some other
places. So she
places.
didn't have any of those things. So I was always raised to treat everybody the same.
As it should be.
But that being said, they tried to raise me well, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
finally starting to get there.
I think as an adult, you look back and you go, oh, that's why they told me to do that. Or
Oh,
that's why they said not to do that as you're limping.
Well, I mean, I can't be the only one that, you know, I mean, my parents, I can't tell you how much they learned from the time I was 13 to the time I was 20.
Oh, really?
They were the dumbest people I had ever met. Dad just didn't know. They just hadn't buried themselves
I have an
yet.
11-year-old like that.
At 13, 14 years old, at 19, I'm going, shit, I get it. You know?
Oh, 100%. But I think you know, we're talking about civil rights, and that's what those 2 ladies went through. Tomorrow, there's a Roanoke civil rights leader being honored for his civil rights.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and let's see. I didn't write down a name.
Wilkinson.
R.R. Wilkinson.
Yeah.
R.R. Wilkinson.
Reverend Wilkinson.
Uh-huh. And he was, I know he was the pastor of Hill Street Baptist
Right.
Church there in the Gainesboro area,
Okay.
which is nice. He was the president of the
NAACP,
NAACP
right.
back in the 1960s, and then he also fought for integration through schools, through counter, you know,
Lunch counters and
lunch
stuff,
counters
yeah.
and the theater, and then also Victory Stadium.
Okay.
Did you move here with Victory? You were not here yet when Victory Stadium was here, right?
I moved here in 2012.
Okay, yeah. Victory Stadium was, I think, long gone.
So,
by then.
no, actually, I moved here in 2014. I started coming out here in 2012.
Okay, and so that's tomorrow. They're renaming a street after him. So
Okay.
that's pretty exciting.
Do we know which street?
I don't. It didn't say
Okay.
it in the article either. So I
Gotcha,
don't know if it's
gotcha.
going to be done downtown and then, you know, just like a ceremony. It didn't have
Right.
much else from there.
Gotcha.
Which, you know, I'm not sure.
Well, it'd be cool if it was the one in front of his church.
Yeah.
You know.
That'd be the perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just honored for something else up in Richmond this week too.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Awesome,
something with
awesome.
his accomplishments through through fighting for civil rights.
Right. Gotcha,
And then,
gotcha.
Speaking of fighting, Roanoke's curfew, they voted on it.
Yeah.
Roanoke City, as far as I know, there's not one for Roanoke County. Roanoke City's new curfew for 17-year-old down to, I think, 14-year-olds. It's 11 during the week, Sunday through Thursday, and you can't go back out until after 5 a.m. 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. on the weekends, and then if you're 13 and younger, it's an hour earlier, so it's 10 to 11.
10 to 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10 to 5, and then 11 to 5 on the weekend. Sorry.
Right.
Gus Hadley, the lunatic from Roanoke, he says he remembers Victory Stadium back in 1985.
Gotcha.
I remember it too. I remember going to, because I lived in Salem. I grew up at the Baptist home in Salem. It's now
Right.
Oak Tree.
Okay.
But we would always go to like the Salem Patrick Henry games and things like that.
Right.
And then, playing there as playing sports, playing football and stuff, we played there.
Right.
And then shortly after the flood, I think they tried to open it and they kind of flooded again, and they were like, "Oh, we're good."
Never mind. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so-
throw the soccer fields in there.
Yeah. So and they've made good use instead of it being just a wide open field with nothing but trash.
Right.
So-
Right.
But yeah, Victory Stadium was awesome. I remember they used to have Elmwood Park, like when they do the Elmwood, Festival in the Park.
Okay. Yeah.
They did not have the amphitheater part at Elmwood Park. So a lot of the concerts you'd go walk from downtown over to Victory Stadium, and sometimes they had shuttles that would run you.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
where their concerts a lot of times were.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it was good times. And I think back then I loved going to Festival in the Park because of all the local artists and just meeting
Right.
people and things like that. I don't think it's as big of a deal. I thought it was 2 weekends before. I don't think it's as big of a deal. I mean, there's still local artists there and things like that, but I
Right.
don't know that it's centered around the whole festival part of it.
Right.
It used to be.
Right. Yeah, because now this is showing my move here mentality. Wasn't Victory Stadium the one in Remember the
It
Titans?
was, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And my foster mother, so when I was 17, I wanted to get a car.
Right.
Didn't have a car because I was 17 and lived at the Baptist home.
Right.
As a child, I didn't know any better. I'm just like, they're mean. I'm gonna find a foster home. As an adult, I look back and I'm like, yeah, that was because of the insurance part. of it. But now I know. But as a child, I'm like, man, that's crap. I'm gonna find a foster home. I called my social worker. I was like, hey, I want a foster home. And she's like, yeah, we'd be better off to get you emancipated than find a foster home at 17.
Right.
But my best friend, Jamie, and I went to Salem together and ended up moving in with him and his mom and brother. And so
Okay.
to this day, I call them my brothers.
Right.
And so, but yeah, that was my foster home. And I bought my own food most of the time and things like that. So
Right.
basically, social services was paying her rent for me to live there.
Right.
And so, but that's who I call family too. So,
That's important.
Gus Hadley, he says Roanoke's always been an art and cultures, and it's always had art and cultures in Southwest. It's such a charming city. Yeah, I agree with that. That's what keeps me here. And I think with the Tallman Museum and everything, I
Right.
think that it's growing even more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you go down there, and actually, I would love to do the tour. I don't know. They should have a tour of all the Roanoke art, like that's on the streets. Because I know out in front
yeah.
of Todman, they have that beautiful mural on the wall.
Right.
And then up under the bridge, there are lots of the different buildings have some local artists and stuff. That have their own thing.
And I love that how many murals actually are out there in downtown Roanoke. Newport News, we don't have murals. We have graffiti.
Maybe
know,
this week's homework
and
for us.
this kind of it looks like it may have started off as graffiti, but it definitely turned into murals.
Right.
You know, we in Newport News we usually have train car art. you know.
We have that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
those rail cars make their way around, but that's
Yeah.
really all the.
And some of that art on the cars are beautiful.
Oh,
I don't care much for the tags, but
Right.
you know, sometimes people will paint different
Oh, yeah.
pictures, and yeah, those maybe that's how they should get them all. You know, let somebody come in and do their own, or
Yeah. Let each artist grab a train or grab at least a car.
oh yeah,
You know.
that would be definitely cool. Let's see, we got a new bus station we talked about, Roots and Fruits. Lots going on this weekend. I know that. Let's see.
Oh, and we had discussed on the last podcast. Did you make it on the Parkway this weekend?
I did. It was beautiful.
Mary and I ran into more bikers than we have ever run into on the Parkway. Saturday, we headed out there. We probably left here about 10:15.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear, there's a lot of turns between here and Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear we hit bikers. And I'm not complaining in any way. That
why?
I would rather you be on your bike on the Parkway than on 419 or 220. But, you know, God bless you. Take the Parkway. I agree with you. But there was always a group of them, and they would always be in a bend. So the way I drive, I'm doing 55, 60, whatever. And then all of a sudden, and just driving Mary crazy. Well, we'll stick with crazy.
You know that the speed limit
Is 45.
Okay, Mary, I'm sure you've told him speed limit's 45. But do you know why all those bikers were? Oh, besides it being open, one of the other reasons is there's some type of bike competition.
Yesterday, yeah.
And they had closed the Parkway again
Forever,
for
yeah.
bike. So
To 2020.
Yeah, so it takes us like what 18 years it seems like.
Right.
You know, 3 years to fix the Parkway, but all of a sudden now it's hadn't even been open a week, and we're gonna shut it down for the bikers.
Right.
You know.
Well,
I ain't mad, but
because I live right off of 220, and I swear they had just opened it, and then all the signs that were talking about, you know, different things. Yes, the roundabout at Merriman and Starkey. Lee, I love you, Mary Lee. Don't even comment on that one.
she already did. She already told many times. She told you it's 45.
But yeah, no, they've got these signs on 220 telling you about road work or if somebody's wrecked on 81 or what have you, just before you hit the Clearbrook Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they had just opened it, and the next thing you know, all the signs are talking about, you know, expect road closure on the Parkway, and I'm like, no. No, I'm running over road workers. No, stop. Y'all just open this up for me. Yeah, it's a joke. You know, but I mean, and, wait, never mind. Bike race, I got you.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that as I was coming back, I guess Monday or Tuesday. No, Wednesday. I came up here to get some stuff for our studio. It's going to be in Roanoke.
Right.
And
right.
So on Wednesday, I noticed that they had the sign up going Parkway is closed, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, well, I went to get video of the Parkway because I have video on the YouTube channel of me going to the Star and different little places like that.
Right.
And so I went up to do the video. I'm going to start this new thing called Sunday Drive.
Okay.
And to where I'm just going to go out on a Sunday and drive a neighborhood and talk about the neighborhood, or like I was going to drive the Parkway and talk about the Parkway, this area being closed. And it's actually I think it's one of the most beautiful areas of the Parkway in this area.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you go up the Skyline Drive area and other parts of the Parkway toward, you know,
Right.
there are some definitely other great views, but I think that's one of the better drives.
Yeah.
But so I get there, I go to put the GoPro on the car, and well, I don't have the right mount.
The mount, yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I was going to do the cell phone, and I was just going to do the talking part of it and then go shoot the video later.
Right.
Cell phone mount is too low. You can't see me, so I had to get a new, well, I don't have a new mount, but I have an older mount that I'm using now so that you can see, and I can see the road and drive and talk too.
Right.
Instead of,
Seeing the road is important.
No, absolutely. Now Gus said, he calls the trains with all the graffiti on them. It's art in motion.
I like it.
That's a great.
That's a great way of calling
they
it.
should do an art in motion tour or something like that.
Heck yeah.
And maybe even get the best cars together and put it in one.
Yeah, and have passersby vote.
Yeah,
You know?
I would be down for that.
Heck yeah.
Alrighty, so this weekend a lot of things going on. We got the cycling amateur road national championships 2023.
Right.
That's probably why they closed
The Parkway. Right.
The Roanoke Symphony Orchestra is doing Pink Floyd "Dark Side of the Moon,"
Nice.
which I like Pink Floyd. I think when I was younger, I listened to ROV a lot, and I think at that time
Right.
they played Pink Floyd "The Wall" 1.5 million times.
Oh, well,
And so
everybody
I was
did.
just kind of like,
Because it was just such a different sound.
Anymore. So I don't know that I've listened to it a lot now as I'm older.
Right.
But yeah, I love Pink Floyd. Mill Mountain Zoo's got Art Gone Wild coming up this weekend,
Okay.
to where it's I think ages 6 to 12 can go and draw and do art with the animals and things
Okay.
like that, which is pretty cool.
I like it.
The Harvester has the Cornells there. Tomorrow night at the Dr. Pepper Park, Badfish with Red Nut Chili Peppers.
Nice.
I think I'd like to go see that one. I love the Chili Peppers, and that's on my bucket list to go see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to go see the Chili Peppers. I don't know about the not Chili Peppers.
I'd pay to go see Flea. I don't know if I could pay to go see. God, all of a sudden his name just lead singer.
That's why I started.
Anthony Kiedis.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I started watching the Chili Peppers as Flea's antics. I'm like, oh, I like that.
Right.
And then, the music was good.
I was like, oh my God, it's a punk Angus Young.
This weekend also, there's a freedom event at the Booker T. Washington Monument for Juneteenth,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool. A lot of people I don't think even my wife knew that we had the Booker T. Washington Monument here.
Right.
And so my daughter, we homeschool, and she just did a report on Booker T. Washington.
Right.
And
okay.
so in the next week, we're going to do a field trip. We were
Okay.
going to do it tomorrow, but we're still hauling that dirt. That
Still
nobody
doing 4 tons of dirt.
heard. Yeah, still hauling 4 tons of dirt that nobody heard at the beginning of our podcast.
Right. Right.
But anyway, so we're going to go visit it. And I
Okay.
remember going to see it as a teenager, and the only thing I remember of it is that you could push a button and it was like, Booker, get in this house or something like
Oh,
that.
really?
It's time for dinner. Because it was, and they may have upgraded it.
Right.
Most definitely.
Right.
But I remember they had the little, as you go to the different little areas of the farm there,
Right.
you push a button, it kind of gives you the history and the story of those things.
Well, a couple of the grandkids that don't live with us, they've had their birthday parties out there because you've got little picnic areas and stuff a little closer to, is that 124 or 122?
I think it's 124.
But and yeah, I mean they've got the monument and basically museum with a bunch of stuff in it. Yeah, but I mean the kids love to walk us old fat farts out there to the horses and the goats and everything, and luckily we've got
Now, have
20
you
and
guys done
30-year-olds in the family that can
They
walk
can
the
keep up
kids
with the
out there
kids.
now.
Mhm. Absolutely, and that's oh my goodness. There's maybe I'll bring pictures next week. My wife, we go to Disney a lot,
Right.
And so when we go there, a lot of times you have whole families on them scooters.
Oh, really?
So we're like, that's how we need to get around. I mean, because you get to go through the little extra line, and so you'll pass, and it'll be like 4 of them in a row that are together driving scooters. Well, the other day, and my mother-in-law would love
New
this.
goal.
I know. My mother-in-law would love this, but I ran across on TikTok. They have ones that are shaped like Volkswagen buses. It has like the roof and everything. And It looks like you're driving a little Volkswagen bus. We definitely.
Yeah, y'all
I
need
think
that.
that's how we need to do that.
Oh yeah. Oh
Just
yeah.
roll through Disney on that. But
I could see Emmy and Tegan having a blast. Not quite as much as you, but I could see them having a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that's one of my oldest son, Canyon. That's one of his pet peeves, is to see people on scooters like that going down highways and stuff. Like you'll pass one on 419 or going down the side, and I'm like, oh wow. And that's kind of a pet peeve of his, that they're really not cars, and probably not, even though if you were to walk you can do it, so I don't know what the difference is, but that seems to be his pet peeve. So anywhere I'm driving, if I see something weird, like one day there's a guy on a scooter and he had like this 4-foot foldable table like on his shoulder, and he's riding a scooter. It was like in his neighborhood. I'm like, what the heck? So I had to get a picture.
Scooter beats asking your buddy for his truck.
Well, there was one the other day that the guy was on the scooter and his wife was drunk, and he had a wagon attached to the back of the scooter, and she was laid out in the wagon, and he's driving down the road.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, so maybe we just all join scooters. Gus, yes, the Zoo Chew is back in operation as of yesterday, we believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Zoo Chew's back, and
don't quote me on it. I think it's $4.
Okay. And if it's not, just send dude a bill and
like,
hey, it was $6, so you owe me $2.
Right. Well, hold that thought. How many viewers we got tonight?
Just one.
Okay, we good then.
Yeah, just the one viewer.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to have watched it live.
Right.
Or do we need to put that in the bottom as a disclosure?
Right.
You have to watch that live. I remember, I think, seeing like peacocks and everything going on the old Zoo Chew, if I can remember right.
Yeah.
Now, what I really miss, and they probably cancel it now, is Lakeside. Lakeside used to have a steam engine type train.
Right.
And it would take you through the woods, and it looked like Indians were attacking cowboys. And,
oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said that would probably be just canceled now.
Right.
You would go through and it would talk about different little things, and then you would hear, the Indians, and then you would hear like the speakers would look like arrows coming by you, or you could hear arrows shooting or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Speakers. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool.
I like Lakeside. I don't think it would have been the same place now.
Oh, yeah.
As before.
Okay.
People don't take care of things anymore.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
no, I'm with you on that.
I mean, it's everywhere, just people don't take care of things.
I know it's usually here around the 4th of July. Have you heard anything? Because I honestly have not heard.
Salem Fair?
When does the Salem Fair come?
Starts next week, I believe. All the trucks and stuff are starting to roll in now. I just passed it about 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Yep, all the trucks are starting to roll in.
Okay, even more better.
I'm going to take my drone out there now. I can't fly over the fair or anything because there are way too many people.
Right.
But I am going to try to take my drone out to one of the little parking lots beside, across the street, and take it up and get some pictures of the fair. And I know a lot of times it's a headache, but they'll have the fair and a baseball game in the same night.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be able to get my drone up in the air and get some photos of the fair and the baseball game going on.
That wouldn't suck.
Can't fly over people.
Right.
I'll be following the FAA rules.
Right.
And I'm a licensed drone pilot for anybody that may want to complain.
Right. So I know we've talked about it in years past, and I'm just kind of dumping this on you, so I apologize if it's the wrong thing to say. Should we put together Salem Fair bingo cards?
I'm game.
Okay.
Do we want to offer a prize for a person that gets bingo, or do they enter a drawing for a prize?
Buy the bingo card, enter for the raffle. If you've got it. Well, that's not a raffle if you got to win it.
We could offer free bingo cards, but how do you prove that somebody got bingo?
That's true. All right, we're gonna think about that. We'll be back with just what we came up with next week.
Yeah, let us know.
Because it's usually a 2-week deal. So
if you have ideas on topics that we can put on the bingo card,
things you may see at the Salem Fair,
and maybe we'll throw in see if AI can give us some different things that maybe we could put on the bingo card. But we need the idea on how to prove that you got to see all those things. Do you just take pictures? We want to see pictures of your bingo.
There you go.
I think that would be the best.
Yeah.
Because everybody has cell phones. I know that the Salem Fair this year, they have tightened up security.
Right. I think you got to have a. Apparently, I'm going through puberty tonight. Let's hope.
Sorry, Mary.
But I think you got to have the clear bags to get through.
You do.
This year.
They're going to have the wands and everything to make sure that nobody's carrying anything. Because I think last year, first night, somebody shot somebody.
Yeah.
There's no sense in that, But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm all about you protecting yourself. Don't be stupid.
Yeah, you don't go to a fair to fight and
Right.
shoot people.
Right.
But so there's a lot more security this year. There's also, if you're 17 and under, you have to have an adult with you. And if you can't
really?
bring a sibling that's 18 or 19, I think that sibling has to be,
Like-
don't quote me on it, 23 or something.
Oh, wow,
You have to have
okay.
an older sibling with you, and I think there has to be proof and stuff. You can't just go with your best friend that's 23 and he'd be like, yeah, that's my brother.
That's my nephew.
Yeah, that's my nephew or whatever. I think
Right.
there has to be some kind of proof in there now because they don't want kids running around getting hurt and getting into trouble. And kids do. I mean, I did.
I did.
Yeah, absolutely. We just didn't have cell phones to prove it.
I've heard stories that I talked my cousin into pulling the fire alarm at the World's Fair in Atlanta. So.
Okay. Nice. No, we never did that. No.
So even when you're not trying to mess up, you can.
Oh, absolutely. The dares will get everybody.
Oh yeah.
But so there's a lot of different security and stuff. But I think as a teenager, I love the fair. Now as an adult, I look at it going, they put that stuff up in just a few days, And I know that it's safe, and I know people come and check it and stuff. But in my head, it's hard for me to describe that. And I love food. Same reason.
Right. Well, Mary and I always go, all right, well, what are they frying new this year? We'll try that. And we really just go for the kids.
Maybe that's a show, though. Maybe that's a show that you and I go out and do and try the foods.
I'm very okay with it.
Riding much.
Yeah, I don't ride as much as I used to.
I mean, I love, like, when we go to Disney and stuff, and I'll ride everything.
Right.
Now, the Flights of Passage makes me dizzy.
Okay.
For some reason, because it's 4D.
Right.
And so it's like you're riding one of those Banshees.
Right.
And so when you go down the hill, all of a sudden I get dizzy as heck. So I've learned to close my eyes. And then I go down the hill. Ian said the best thing about fairs is the food.
I agree. At my age, anyway.
So Ian, if you're over 18, maybe we have a food fiesta at the fair.
That's right. We'll come back next week if the trucks are just getting here. That may be up next week. Maybe we try and head out there Wednesday before the podcast to have a little, B-roll rolling through next week. But we'll definitely set a time up that if you want to meet and just have a, eating contest or hey, here's what I thought you should have put on the bingo card, and
That's right.
here are pictures.
So we got the fair bingo, and then we're going to go get fat at the fair.
Hey, all right.
Let's do it. That's a good plan.
I like it.
Oh, he said he's in New Jersey. Hey, I'm pretty sure that the fair food, if I put it in a box, we could send it to you and it'd still be good. It may not be hot, but it'd still be good.
Yeah, I mean, do you have microwaves in New Jersey? we can send it to you.
That was I've been through New Jersey a few times, and that was one of the weirdest things is that you don't pump your gas in New Jersey.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I
Kind of
missed that. That
weird.
needs to come back. I don't know how long it's been gone from here, but I mean, there was like one full service station in Hampton Roads, and that was in Suffolk. By the time I left.
And maybe we can even do a fair, or not a fair, but we can do a what's your favorite fair food poll.
Okay.
And kind of throw it out there, and hopefully
Right.
they'll have the vendors that they're going to have, because a lot of times they'll advertise, hey, we're frying this up,
Right.
fried toe cheese or whatever.
Right.
We're frying this up, and so hopefully we can get a little He said send some fried Oreos. Absolutely.
All right.
But maybe we can get a list of what they're frying up so that we can kind of go in with a game plan, or
Well,
however many bottles of Tums we make.
right.
Acid reflux hits hard when you're old. So we got a game plan. Bingo. Any ideas you have on what the bingo squares need to look like? Let us know. Prize, it'll probably, it'll come out of us, so
Right.
it ain't gonna be a lot, but it'll be fun to see who gets bingo. And I think that if you submit a winning bingo card, you have to submit the photos with it.
Yeah.
Even if you blur off faces, I don't care about faces or anything, but I think you have to submit the photos with your
Right.
card. And maybe this week we can find a couple sponsors that'll throw in some money for a prize.
Okay. I like it.
we'll
Yeah.
work on it this
Well,
week.
we'll talk to a couple people.
We'll work on that part this week and see if we can't find out what the fried foods are and come up with a game plan for next week's podcast.
I like it. I like
a
it.
good plan.
Maybe next week will be a little more fun.
Yeah. Now the Salem Red Sox are playing this week or this weekend, and then also at Longwood Park they're playing the Rise of Gru at Longwood Park for movie night.
Okay.
For family
Okay.
movie night.
Okay. Is that still the one? Because I think they said they were going to do it once a week. I forget what night, but they're doing a basically a family movie and like the first 150 people in.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know about
About the kettle corn.
Yeah, I don't know about the kettle corn this week. But I
Gotcha.
do know that they're playing the Rise of Gru. And then at the Mill Mountain Zoo, they have a monarch thing this weekend too.
Okay.
Talking about, I guess,
The
teaching
monarch
about
butterflies.
butterflies and things like that.
Okay.
I watched a TikTok the other day, and this guy was so distraught. There was a couple fields by him, and I understand people. Oh no, it was a public fields, and he said he knows at least 400 to 500 in each of those field of milkweeds.
Okay. Well,
And they came through and mowed it all through. So any eggs or anything that were there growing,
Right.
gone, and just wiped it all out. So we got to do better than that.
I agree.
So, well, until next time, you got anything else?
I don't think so.
Until next time, next week, have a great one.